Excuse me, would you like some cheese with your ham? This is definitely in my top 10 funniest episodes of MLP. The humor was so fast-paced and sadistic, I could barely hold in my laughter. Not just from Discord, but from all the other characters too. Here, let me explain what I mean. So this episode begins with Twilight getting mail. Oh, the mail pony wasn't abused this time. Instead it was Spike. I'm really surprised that Spike doesn't care that he's physically abused all the time. Maybe he just has a high tolerance for pain? Maybe dragons are hardier than we are? Maybe he's brainwashed? Bad writing? Who knows? Then the main 6 see Fluttershy off because we certainly can't have her around when Discord gets sick and Fluttershy can't be there to keep him under control. Convenient. Cadence shows up in a train that came from the same direction Fluttershy's train left in. How does that work? Cadence leaves the train with royal fanfare because, I guess it's a formality, and Flash Sentry was there. Moving on. Twilight and Cadence decide to spend a day with each other looking at Star Swirl the bearded artifacts. You know, the more I hear about this guy, the more I want to know about him. He was around during the time of the founding of Equestria, he was apparently on good enough terms with Celestia that she oversaw his research, and he gets an entire museum after him. Tell us more about this guy, darn it! Then Discord shows up with a blue flu. Okay, how many different types of influenza are there in Equestria? Then again, in the real world there's about 13 different types of flu, but still, the types of flu that ponies seem to catch seem to have very arbitrary symptoms. Maybe it's because this is a world run by magic? I don't know. Then we get more characters going against their elements, which I'm sure people are going to be crying about. And it seems we've hit the mother lode. Loyalty is the first to ditch, generosity doesn't give up her fainting couch, laughter repelled the spirit of chaos, and honesty tells another half-truth. Maybe Discord just brings out the worst in everyone. Oh wait, he does. Huh. I gotta ask a question. What does Discord do when Fluttershy isn't with him? We can see from this episode that he breaks his boredom threshold when he goes to pick on the main 6, but what else does he do to pass the time? Does he have a job? Does he help Celestia with anything? Does he prank smaller people? Does he just sit around and Fluttershy the whole day? Whatever, I can wait for an answer. So we get to see more moments of Discord in all of his reality warping glory. Well, it seems that whenever Discord shows up, we can assume that's the cue for the animators to go nuts. And nuts they went. This is on the level of Friend Like Me from Aladdin. I paused so many times just to catch all the scenes and references. But I've got to ask, what exactly is the line Discord is not allowed to cross when using his powers? I get that he's not supposed to usurp thrones or lay waste to towns or anything, but still, what is he actually not allowed to do? The whole using his powers for good instead of evil most of the time is pretty loose and open to some pretty liberal interpretation. No one apparently has any problems with him just playing mind games with them, as long as the damage from his shenanigans isn't permanent. Though withholding information that could have prevented a nationwide crisis is okay. And now tricking alicorn princesses into nearly getting them devoured by an Alaskan bullworm gets a free pass? Quite forgiving, these ponies. Speaking of which, we got a new creature called the Tattle Worm, which kind of reminds me of a cross between a graboid and that flower from Jumanji. Considering the lack of local wildlife, I wonder what it eats. There's nothing around really that would seem to satiate its appetite, considering it apparently has a taste for meat, unless its typical diet lies below the ground, or unless the changelings are around, or both? In actual myth, a Tattle Worm is said to be so poisonous that even its breath could kill a human. Or in this case, its mucus can poison a Draconicus. I wonder if the writers have a list or something that's readily available if they ever need to insert a random mythical creature. Fingers crossed for hellhounds! I also want to talk about alicorns, as it seems the show is making them less and less like deities. And this isn't a bad thing, there's just a lot of things surrounding them that are never explained. Here we see that it honestly doesn't take much to defeat them as far as giant monsters go. Maybe their kingdom isn't as powerful as we think it is, as they've been shown to be easily taken down if caught off guard. Sure, Celestia and Luna raise the sun and moon, but does that really take a lot of effort if you think about it? We just assume their sun and moon are proportional to ours. Who knows, maybe they'll explain it, eventually. And about the ends of Equestria. So, Equestria doesn't seem to be the name of the planet or the continent, rather it's a country. Glad to get that canonically cleared up. And it seems that the further you go, the more likely you are to run into monsters. Is this where the changelings live? Are there other kingdoms out there? Who knows? I'm noticing a couple of complaints that the morals are getting repeated, when I had to disagree. Sure, one could draw the comparison of this episode's moral to The Best Night Ever, but the thing is, plenty of other episodes have similar morals to each other. Luna Eclipse moral is similar to Bridal Gossips, and let's not forget that many episodes involve characters relearning how to get over their consistent flaws. It's just that certain morals sound different with context, and this one is no different. The Gallows moral was friends make bad situations better, and this moral was how a chaotic situation brings friends closer. It's less of a repeat and more of an expansion. Though, I'm a bit worried that Discord is eventually going to be the boy who cried wolf. He is a big trickster, and relationships are reinforced with trust, so this whole deceiving the main six thing is concerning. Is anyone else besides me thinking when something bad is going to happen and he tells others about it, no one's going to believe him? Hopefully I'm just taking this way too seriously.